Hello, humans of Earth. It is Sunday, November 4th. Beautiful day. Lots going on out there in the world. Today, I want to focus a few videos on talking about space. A lot going on with the final frontier. And in this first video, I want to discuss what we're seeing come out of Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson on Fox News. So let's start here. Sean Hannity, I'll try to ask Trump about Area 51. Fox News host Sean Hannity said in a segment handoff, so Hannity passing the ball off to Carlson, they're talking in between segments, said that a great question to ask President Trump after the midterms would be about mysterious Area 51 in Nevada. He said he'll try to ask the president himself for everybody's sake. They quipped amid laughter. Of course, got to use humor to get these particular ideas seeded into the mainstream. And while they're laughing about it, joking about it, at the very same time, with them, this is not a joke. Because looking at Hannity and Carlson, those two particular journalists, I view them far differently than I view any other journalists out there in the mainstream, even other journalists on Fox News. I still see a lot of bad stuff come out of Fox News, along with the good. I mean, it's not black and white. And a lot of the good I've seen come out of Fox News is because primarily of these two guys. I think Hannity and Carlson are two patriots that want the truth out, that are good people, that I think they've been briefed, you know? Q has mentioned them in the drops. I think Hannity and Carlson have been briefed on some stuff, potentially. And I also believe that Hannity and Carlson, they're just curious. They're curious people that want to seek the truth, and they're going through this whole awakening process just as we all are. So it's a joke, but it's not a joke. And at that very same time, you know, this segment totally planned, this whole quipping, but it's also in a very particular plan to be asking Trump these questions. Asking Trump these questions is far different than asking any of his predecessors these questions about Area 51, UFOs, and the like. Notice all of his predecessors. Notice Bush, both Bushes, Clinton, and Obama. As any president over the last 30, 40 years, their answers to the UFO alien topic, they're all very planned. They're all done on late night talk shows mainly, again, planned. But they're also polar opposites. Looking at how the Bushes answered that compared to Clinton and Obama's answer, much more open, you're seeing there, it's very crucial to notice that difference because you're seeing who has been tasked to manage the partial disclosure psyop for the deep state in Clinton and those surrounding Clinton, Rockefellers, Podestas, Reed, et cetera, et cetera. So that is who has been tasked to do it. And they're not in power anymore. We have Trump in power. We have white hat military intelligence in power. Those associated with Q in power, patriots in control. They are now just controlling the disclosure narrative. And they're going to do it in a much different way, much more full way, I'm sure. And this little segment is a little seed in the public consciousness, but also that question about UFOs. Of course, we want to ask about Q. We want to ask Trump a lot of questions right now, but about UFOs, it's in the plan. I'm sure it's going to come very soon. Maybe not in a few weeks or just a few short months after the midterms. Maybe it'll be a couple years, but I think that's definitely in the plan. Might very well see Q leak out a little bit more information about, remember, the highest classification alien life is and those secret space programs. But yes, that is in the plan, I'm sure. And then Tucker Carlson. Let's talk about the full segment. Let's analyze this that he had a few days ago, and it actually gets a little bit more into that idea of partial disclosure. So this segment, he devoted, it was called, Did Google Help Hide a Secret Military Base from View? That's what they devoted it to. And it was on this story right here. Censored craft near hangar appears in satellite image of secretive Tonopah Test Range Airport. I like how they call it an airport. We're dealing with space here, guys. But again, being very easy, very methodical with their disclosures. Airport. Tonopah, Nevada. Always said to be weird stuff going on there for a long time. And it looks like some things are beginning to be disclosed about it. And they're actually saying top secret programs. Now let's take a look at those censored images. Look at that. So you see a hangar there, and you can see a blurry something. See the sharp edges, man-made, hanging out of that hangar. Now, this article goes on to discuss mainly publicly available information, but it's still saying the F-117 stealth fighter was top secret for 10 years, and Area 51, even more remote and guarded neighbor, Area 51. Now, since Area 51 is a topic here in this video, I'll touch on it real quick. The deeper stuff goes on elsewhere. Area 51 purposely gets the attention, not too much goes on there, just to use as the mainstream however they want to use it, whether they ridicule it or focus a documentary investigative piece on Area 51 alien life. Better stuff, deeper stuff goes on elsewhere. But still, they're talking about actual top secret stuff. And in these photographs getting out, that, to me, my intuition here, that doesn't just happen. Getting a photograph out like this of a actual craft at an installation, that just doesn't happen. Now, on Google Earth, you can find anomalous stuff. Primarily in Antarctica, you can find, at least that I've found, you can find holes in the ice and maybe a few weird things in the ice there. But finding stuff, especially around in things in nations and then around America's military bases already, I mean, that stuff, the bases might not even be there, let alone there's going to be no censored craft getting out, any top secret craft they don't want out. Plus, most of the important stuff is also hidden underground, right? Another very important note. Important stuff hidden underground. So for an above ground something to be let out like this, again, planned, methodical, right? Who fed these details to the journalists, or who particularly slipped this out in the public? Important question. But we're seeing top secret programs, modern ones right now at American military installations, be disclosed. Now let's talk about the other part of this piece that Tucker Carlson did. So then he started discussing this, the whole New York Times, the stuff that came out last December, almost a year ago now, came out through the New York Times, Pentagon program in 2004, the ATIP program that To the Stars has been reporting on, and they've been getting special access to the individuals, and it's got the John Podesta, Harry Reid fingerprints all over it. It's just the weird one. And that's what I mean by deep state partial disclosure PSYOP narrative. That this is one of those PSYOP narratives here, is the whole 2004 program with some millions funneled into it to research unexplained aerial phenomena, that whole thing. Now, Nick Pope is who they tasked to come on to this Fox News segment with Tucker Carlson to talk about it. And Nick Pope is more of a mainstream guy. Appeared on Ancient Aliens, appeared on some mainstream stuff. He has his one particular narrative he sticks to. He doesn't stray to much else. But they task a mainstream guy to come on and talk about this whole, one program. Now it's intriguing to do this because what you're seeing is them having to go the mainstream line, because this has been published a year ago. It's what's out in the mainstream. It's what's popular in regarding to UFOs. It's an easy topic to get into because it's already out there, and there's not much to it. Granted, it's a total nonsense all about it once you start digging, but again, to the mainstream level, they're still walking that rope, that fine line with the deep state. But at the same time, talking about Google hiding secret military bases from view. This isn't just one program. When you're bringing this information into the picture, that, oh wow, there's something going on at Tonopah as well, it's bringing much more. It's expanding the view. Not just one little program in 2004 that was for a few million, but we're talking craft in operation now that are top secret, that are at military installations. So what I see Fox News, their angle is here, what Tucker Carlson's angle is to ride the mainstream deep state partial disclosure PSYOP line while getting some deeper stuff out there. And this is a plan, I'm sure, that the white hats are doing behind the scenes. They're having to do because they are trying to circumvent the whole PSYOP partial disclosure narrative, the whole limited hangouts over here. They're having to go around it. They're going around it, of course, with Q and Hannity and Carlson. I'm sure, like I said, in the future will be a part of a plan to circumvent any partial disclosure PSYOPs. And there's other plans, I'm sure, in play to do that, to get more of a full disclosure out there. Space Force being one of them, and more information, more data, more intelligence coming out into the public domain like this and other things. So that's the way I'm seeing all this line up with Fox News, with that segment, with Trump and the question being asked about him. of Area 51 alien life, etc. I think that'll be asked in short time. And in the meantime, we might very well see Q leak a few other things. But regardless, I'll be doing a whole lot of work. My digital soldier, citizen journalist self, be doing a lot more work on the fascinating aspect of space, of the actual sciences, the actual technologies, and the disclosure of everything. I mean, that's the next phase, guys. Disclosure of the technology, disclosure of the realities, disclosure of everything. So that's all for this one. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be making a few more videos here. Go watch them. Peace out.